So, once again, credit to the Prime Minister and to the BJP leadership. That's been the reactions that we have been getting. All of them have been thanking the Prime Minister for his leadership. Ultimately, it is his message that all these 195 BJP candidates are taking. I'm being joined by Smita Prakash as well. Smita, first reaction, these 195 seats that have been announced. For you, what is the big headline from these 195 candidates?
Well, there are some names which were kind of predictable, but I think the fact that they have come out with the names so quickly, way before they were supposed to or expected to, shows that, you know, what the BJP is sending out a message to everybody is no complacency. 2 terms, we're going in for a 3rd term, and the 3rd term is not a cakewalk. It's something that you have to do. And you can see the reaction that came in from Shivraj Chauhan. Now, he's served as Chief Minister for 15 years, 3-term Chief Minister. They didn't give him a 4th term, but they compensated by giving him one of the most prestigious seats for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh, Vidisha, which has seen Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which has seen Sushma Swaraj, which you saw that, you know, when it was Sushma Swaraj, she kind of bridged the urban-rural divide when she took that constituency. It's a constituency which Shivraj Chauhan has worked tirelessly, ceaselessly out there. So they've given it to him. Similarly, there are other names which you're running. Hema Malini, there were many who are disgruntled and said that why is she getting it again and again, a film star. But her popularity, those who have done ground reporting know that her popularity in Mathura is tremendous. People will they just line the streets. They believe in her. They know that it's not an easy constituency to work. So several things. Even Kerala is going to be very interesting to watch. Rajiv Chandrasekharan and BJP not seeing any no-go region. You know, they're not. The fact that they've given Anil Antony also right away a ticket to contest is something that young guns, young blood, young Turks, they're encouraging them and saying, yes, you come into our party, we're going to reward you by sending you to the battlefield right away and tog up and go in. So it seems like they're not battle weary, which if you see a 2-term party which has won 2 elections, one would presume that they would be either complacent or they'd be tired. They're showing no signs of that. They're showing energy. And now it remains to be seen whether the India grouping are showing the same level of energy or inertia, which we have to see what they come up with.
But does it also, so you mentioned Anil Antony, there's also Ritesh Pandey, 2 people who recently joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. Ritesh Pandey as recently as this week, and soon enough getting the ticket from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Do you think the BJP leadership is confident that its Karyakartas will continue to take the message without getting disgruntled, without wanting rewards, and therefore these people who are recently joining BJP can also be accommodated?
With the natural reaction of any party worker who has served for say 10 years, 15 years would be that I have worked for so long, तो मुझे फल मिलना चाहिए, मुझे परिश्रम का फल मिलना चाहिए. But that is not how the BJP functions. Their whole system of training is such that you keep working for Rashtra Nirman. You work for the country first, then the party. And self comes really the last, if it does come at all. So the entire idea is they've been telling their party workers for quite some time that BJP now has become a large tent, something that the Congress used to be, getting in talent pool from outside to get new blood into the party too. So those who come from other parties are trained in the ideology of the BJP. They of course have remnants of the ideology that they carry from the other party, but that goes through a kind of a cleansing process when they get into the BJP, and they have to understand, they have to go through a very rigorous training procedure, mind you, to understand how the BJP functions. It's not everybody who can take that rigors of training well, but when they go, they have learnt the message, they have learnt the ideology, they've learnt how to counter any kind of accusation that they carry the legacy of the party that they left behind. You'll see that which happened in 2019, those who moved in. So now it will be interesting to see how the new recruits defend the BJP and defend their late entry into the BJP just before the election.
Right. So that's perhaps a message as well. And I think BJP, by giving a ticket to Kamaljeet Shehrawat here in Delhi, is trying to send a message that any Karyakarta who's worked hard will be rewarded. But at the same time, Anil Anthony and Ritesh Pandey are examples that if you're joining the party from outside, it does not mean that you will not get a ticket. But we are keeping our focus on Kerala as well. Neetu Ravikumar, if you're there with us, two interesting contests there. One, of course, Anil Anthony, son of A.K. Anthony, Congress veteran, has been a defence minister here, and his son getting that ticket from Patnamthitta, where Sabrimala Shrine is located. But for the urban audience, the more mouth-watering contest will be Thiruvananthapuram, Shashi Tharoor versus Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
That's correct. In Thiruvananthapuram, we'll be witnessing a very high-profile contest between sitting MP Shashi Tharoor, Minister of State Rajiv Chandrasekhar, and even the left candidate is a pretty strong candidate here because he was earlier MP from Thiruvananthapuram. The CPI candidate, senior leader Panyan Ravindran, is in the poll fray. So it's going to be a very interesting fight here. But Shashi Tharoor has been the MP here for 3 times, and if you look at the work that he has done and how he has carried on in the constituency, we cannot say that the people have much of a problem with Mr. Tharoor. So it's going to be a very high-profile fight here. And of the 12 seats that has been announced here, we can see that 2 ministers of state will be contesting, one from Thiruvananthapuram and one from Attingal, V. Muralidharan. So V. Muralidharan is from the state himself, and he has been concentrating in Attingal constituency and doing work in the Attingal constituency for more than a year now. So on the ground, we could see that every weekend the minister would be here. He would be attending to issues there, and he has been time and again responding to the chief minister. He has been active in the state politics and in Attingal constituency. Even in Attingal, a sitting MLA from the LDF, Joy, is a candidate opposite V. Muralidharan, and Adur Prakash is a sitting MP from Congress. Now, Patnamthitta is another A-class constituencies of the BJP where they had a pretty good vote share. So Anil Anthony will be contesting from there. So that is something as we know, he is the son of former Defence Minister A.K. Anthony, and the BJP is hoping that at least some Congress workers or people in Patnamthitta constituency would see this connection. And this is also a constituency which has a sizable number of Christian population, the Patnamthitta constituency. So if you look at it, it's a tough fight. Tough candidates, senior leaders coming into the poll fray from the BJP. 12 seats have already been announced.
Right. Neetu, thank you so much for that quick overview of Kerala. Thank you so much for helping us understand what is really working in whose favour. Let me once again bring in all my guests into the show. Shantanu Gupta, author; Smita Prakash, editor of ANI. They've been speaking to us. We're now being joined by Kamru Chaudhary, political analyst, and also Sumansi Raman, political commentator. Kamru Chaudhary, we discussed Kerala first. We've discussed Uttar Pradesh also. Let's discuss Rajasthan. It's a state which has just brought back BJP to power in the assembly elections. It's a state which gave them the maximum numbers in the last Lok Sabha polls. So in a way, a state where the Bharatiya Janata Party is pretty confident, yet all its top generals are out in the field there, from Om Birla to Gajendra Shekhawat to Arjun Ram Meghwal, fighting the battle for the BJP.
Well, no doubt that BJP is very strong in Rajasthan right now. They are in governance out there. Even last time also they had a clean sweep of the state during the 2019 elections. But after losing the elections, the Congress party is out on the streets right now, and there is a slight despondency against the Bharatiya Janata Party government right there. And you see the differences that existed before the assembly elections between Ashok Gehlot ji and the Sachin Pilot camp are nowhere there right now. Even Sachin Pilot has vowed to win back many seats in Rajasthan. I can say that way. Let the results tell which way the wind will be blowing in Rajasthan. But one thing is for sure. The differences within the Bharatiya Janata Party is out in common in Rajasthan because of the lists of the Vasundhara Raje camp, and the other camp is clearly visible in the list. If you have a detailed analysis after your broadcast tonight, you will find the differences very much evident out there. However, on the broader perspective, before I finish, let me just add you one thing. Out of the 195 seats that have been declared by the Bharatiya Janata Party, I was very much expecting this time, or I was very surprised right after reading the list that the party which claims Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas, and the numerous outreach programs for the minorities, or rather the Muslim population of the country, I'm very, very aghast that the othering and the political isolation of the Muslims by the Bharatiya Janata Party is complete in this election. In
Okay.
this list, 195.
Okay.
Though I am hopeful, the world's largest political party at least will find a few candidates. Secondly, with so much fanfare, Prime Minister Modi brought in the Women's Reservation Bill, out of which, out of round about 200 seats declared, only 28 of our women candidates could find in that list. This is also another surprise to me, madam. And
Okay.
I hope that in the next, the women folk of our country will at least get some
Okay.
justice from the Bharatiya Janata
Smita
Party.
Prakash is the only woman panelist right now. Smita Prakash, 28 out of 195. When the women's reservation bill, the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, has already promised 33%. Yes, the implementation officially is a long way off, but it's expected of political parties to take the lead. In that backdrop, 28 out of 195, how do you see that?
See, as far as the women's bill is concerned, the BJP has to step up now. It is expected in the third term, all legacy issues have to be completed. In the second term, they did do it. They did promise several things, which was triple talaq, the CAA, which one is expecting will happen, and an entire list. So they have delivered on that. The third term is a legacy term. It is something which, whatever that they have promised so far, they have to work on that if they win the election. But first we have to get to that point. So I think when you talk about Rajasthan, you can already see the celebrations. You're running the celebrations which have broken out. Obviously, those people whose names have come out in the list, their party workers are celebrating. There will be some people who will be despondent, and those will be the Diggaj Neta, as they say, the real Nami Girami Netas whose names do not figure in the list, whose sons and daughters' name have not yet figured in the list. So some little bit of anxiety out there that, they have served 2 terms or 3 terms as members of parliament, and if they are now benched, that really doesn't give much scope for them. 5 years sitting out now because most of the state elections are over. It is something that they have to see. So BJP sending out a message quite clear with the Rajasthan names, with the Delhi names also, that, that don't take anything for granted. Exactly. Just because you have been a member of parliament for 3 terms from a particular constituency, it is time for a change now. And especially if that MP has not delivered in the state elections which happened, the Vidhan Sabha election.
Right.
If their constituency did not come out and vote in large numbers, then somewhere they've had to pay the price for it in these.
Yes, and Delhi definitely has given that message. Parvesh Verma, somebody who has his father's legacy, dropped. Meenakshi Lekhi, 2-time MP, made it to the Ministry of External Affairs. MOS dropped again. Gautam Gambhir tweeted himself saying that he's opting out of this. So only Manoj Tiwari has made it, and a new B, Kamaljeet Shehrawat. Basuri Swaraj.
Basuri was very interesting.
Yeah. And this is
Basuri is so interesting. If I may just bring in a small anecdote.
All right, go ahead, Smita. You bring in the anecdote.
Sorry.
And then I'll give the floor to Sumansi Raman.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt on another's time. I just want to bring a small anecdote that, when Sushma Swaraj lost that election, I went to do a story. I went to speak with her, and, she was shattered because she was so popular in the constituency. And she was shattered that she could have been rejected. And, as a reporter, it's a very interesting story to meet somebody who nobody thought can be rejected. She was shattered. And there were people who were there, and he said, you have to fight. The next election, again, I went to see whether, she will stand for election. And there were huge crowds. And she was like, I am not going to fight from here. There is no way. I have been betrayed by the people. Mujhe mat kahiye yahan se ladne ke liye. That bitterness that she had, that sense of hurt, that her own people in this constituency where she had worked so hard, right from Advani ji's election when he fought from Delhi, she'd been working so hard. It is very, very poignant when you see people who have been working in a constituency for decades together, when they get rejected by the people for something, they can't even understand what happened.
Right. So it'll be very interesting to note whether Basuri Swaraj in a almost fully urban constituency. Yes, there are pockets as well which cater specifically to Aam Aadmi Party's vote bank, and Somnath Bharti has been announced in the candidate there. So Basuri Swaraj versus Somnath Bharti in New Delhi will be an interesting contest. But Sumansi Raman, I also want to draw your attention to to Amethi and Raebareli. No surprise for Amethi there. Once again, Smriti Irani being fielded. Raebareli, however, nobody announced. Is the BJP, in your analysis, waiting to see if Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is fielded as it's being speculated?
I think so. I think that there is some level of anticipation that Priyanka would be fielded from Raebareli, and the BJP may want to sort of pull off a surprise with a candidate from Raebareli against her. But more importantly, looking at the list, I see two trends. One, in a state like Uttar Pradesh, if 47 out of the 51 names are people who are being renominated, then that sends out a very strong signal. By the same token, what about Delhi, where 4 out of 5 have been replaced? So, are we to assume that a Meenakshi Lekhi has not performed? Gautam Gambhir, despite whatever he said, I'm sure they must have known the list and earlier. So he must have known. Jayant Sinha must have known. They all came out with this. Jayant Sinha says he wants to save the climate, save the environment and fight against climate change. Gambhir says he wants to concentrate on cricket. I'm sure they would have known that they were not getting the seat. But what is the signal that is being sent is very, very difficult. One information seems to be clear. There are very few holy cows in the BJP. So Rajiv Chandrasekhar is being thrown into the deep end at Thiruvananthapuram, very likely to take on Shashi Tharoor. So how will that go? It's not going to be an easy battle. And of course, the talk of dynastic politics, I think we are seeing that now in the BJP as well. Tickets for Bansuri Swaraj, tickets for Anil Anthony, tickets for Jyotiraditya Scindia. So I think that, while we can quibble about it, all parties are doing it, and the BJP is no longer an exception to the rule. I think that point is made.
Okay.
The Kerala part is interesting because there were 3 seats in Kerala where the BJP really did well last time, and they were, Thiruvananthapuram, one of them, Pattanamthitta and Thrissur. So they have announced their candidates for all the 3 constituencies. Suresh Gopi again contesting from Thrissur, and Anil Anthony from Pattanamthitta he would make a fight of it. So I think that they've done a lot of homework, and that's coming out in this first list. But again, Telangana also, Bandi Sanjay is contesting, Kishan Reddy is contesting his existing seat of Secunderabad, Itala Rajender from Malkajgiri, which used to be Revant Reddy's constituency. So I think that they're sending out the message that they've done their homework and they've come out with this first list.
Okay.
Now it is for the opposition or the India Alliance to respond.
It's a head start for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's see how much that head start helps. I'm just requesting all of you to stay on. My colleague Tejinder Singh Sodhi is joining me live from Jammu. Tejinder, Jammu and Kashmir being closely watched because this will be a big test of what has really been the reaction of people since abrogation of Article 370, since 35A was made history. But that aside, there was a lot of speculation whether Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha polls will be announced together as well. In that backdrop, the names that have been announced, your analysis?
See, Arnima, earlier there were speculations that BJP would come out with some surprises in its first list for Jammu and Kashmir. But BJP has fielded both the candidates, given the fact that what we are told that BJP had conducted 3 surveys in Jammu and Kashmir to find out who are the suitable candidates, and they found that number one, Dr. Jitendra Singh, who has been a member parliament, a minister of state from Udhampur constituency. If you remember, when he first contested the Udhampur Doda parliamentary seat way back in 2014, he was considered as an underdog, but he emerged as a giant killer. He defeated the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Ghulam Nabi Azad, and again in 2019 he secured the seat with more than margin of 3 lakh votes. So now BJP has once again shown trust on Dr. Jitendra Singh. It is because what you see on the ground, that work has been done. The surveys which the BJP conducted in both the constituencies, it gave a go ahead for these 2 candidates, because the survey reports which we got to know from our sources indicated that these 2 sitting MPs, they have worked on ground. they have
Right.
acceptability within the people, within their party leader. So that's why they were given. They are once again being fielded by the BJP from Jammu and the
Right.
Udhampur constituency. Yes, Arnima.
Tarinder, thank you. And you summed it up as a giant killer. I know Sumansi Raman wants to come in, but I also want to share an anecdote about Dr. Jitendra saying he's been given the ticket from Udhampur. And I remember him telling us at one point that when he was asked to go take that oath, he had just come with a small little briefcase, not even prepared to go to Rashtrapati Bhavan and take that oath. And that was a scamper to get the suit stitched at the right time so that he was adequately dressed. So there are anecdotes of all of these kind. But Sumansi Raman, you had a comment to make before I finally wrap up.
Yeah, a fair number of turncoats have also been accommodated. And I think that is significant. We have not seen the list in other states as yet. But as far as Telangana is concerned, BB Patil actually joined the BJP yesterday, or was it day before yesterday, I think. So he is now been fielded in Zahirabad. Vishweshwar Reddy, who's contesting from Chevela, was a TRS MP, now a then TRS MP.
Right.
Then he became a Congress, he contested the same seat as a Congress candidate last time. And now he is contesting as a BJP candidate. So I think that there is a signal that if you jump ship, there is a very good chance that you may actually be rewarded. So one can't generalize it, but certainly in places like Kerala and Telangana, where the BJP is not particularly strong, I think that is a message that is going out to those from other parties who may be thinking on similar lines.
Shantanu Gupta categorizes BJP as now a corporate entity which is trying to ensure that everybody fits into some role or the other. I'm afraid I've run out of time, but thank you Shantanu Gupta, Smita Prakash, Kamru Chaudhary, as well as Sumansi Raman for joining us. 195 seats have been declared by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Surprises coming in from Delhi, where sitting MPs have been dropped. Manoj Tiwari, the only one who has been retained. Surprise there from Kerala as well. Thiruvananthapuram, if Shashi Tharoor is repeated by the Congress, it will see a Rajiv Chandrasekhar versus Shashi Tharoor fight there. Surprises from Madhya Pradesh also. Capital city Bhopal no longer will see the sitting MP getting repeated there. Sadhvi Pragya Thakur has been replaced. In Guna, Jyotiraditya Scindia could make a comeback. Vidisha Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Udhampur in Jammu, Dr. Jitendra Singh is being fielded once again. From Assam, Dibrugarh, Sarvananda Sonobal has been given the ticket. In Arunachal Pradesh, Tapir Gaon and Kiran Rijiju, sitting MPs getting repeated. So a balancing out act there. Some new entrants like Anil Anthony and Ritesh Pandey making the cut there. Some like Kavaljeet Shehrawat in Delhi, a Karyakarta making the cut. So BJP in these 195 seats have tried to do the balancing act. They have taken a head start over the opposition, which is yet to figure out as to who are these candidates.